If life is so short, why do people live as if they have infinite time? Here's the reality. The average person lives about 30,000 days. Now imagine, if you're 30 years old, you've already lived around 11,000 of them. And those days? They're gone. They're never coming back. I should eat that someday. I should visit that place someday. I should meet that person someday. But someday is a dangerous word. It tricks you into believing you have all the time in the world. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn powerful strategies to use your time wisely, to make every second count. You're going to learn how to truly live. I'm not going to give you generic advice. These are deep insights about how life really works. Your life will change after watching this video. Chapter 1: Time Perception and Psychology. Time isn't just a number on a clock, it's an experience shaped by your mind. And the first step to mastering it is understanding the psychological game it plays with you. When you were a child, summer felt endless. A single day could feel like a whole week. Today, the years pass like months. You blink and it's December again. That's not just a feeling, it's pure neuroscience. The brain measures time based on new experiences. In childhood, everything is new. Places, faces, emotions. Your brain records it all. That's what makes time feel slower. But in adulthood, routine takes over. Same coffee, same route, same shows. The brain stops recording the same old same, and the days go by in a blur. That's what we call temporal blindness. So how do you break free from it? Disrupt the repetition. Change your path. Learn something new every month. Talk to someone outside your bubble. Each new stimulus forces your brain to pay attention, and when it does, time stretches again. You feel more alive. But here's the biggest mistake of all. We underestimate what we can achieve in a year and overestimate what we can do in a single day. This time illusion creates early frustration. It makes you give up on goals before results even begin to show up. As Leonardo da Vinci once said, time stays long enough for those who use it. And that's the truth. Time doesn't speed up. You are the one who needs to change how you move through it. Chapter 2: Priority Management. Being busy has never meant being productive, yet most people still confuse activity with purpose. They fill their days with urgent tasks, but deep down those tasks carry no real weight. They rush, put out fires, answer emails, and let life slip away through the cracks of what's important. Want a radical filter? Use the deathbed test. Picture yourself at 90, looking back. Will you be proud of all those extra hours at the office? Or will you regret the time you didn't spend with the people you love? Suddenly, everything that felt urgent loses its meaning. Just one more email, just this last report. Meanwhile, your real priorities, the ones that don't scream, get pushed aside. And it's always a later that never comes. Successful people understand one game-changing truth. Knowing what not to do is more valuable than knowing what to do. That's where Warren Buffett's two-list strategy comes in. Write down everything you want to achieve. Circle the 3 most important goals. The rest? That's your list of disguised distractions. Stop trying to do everything. Real focus begins with conscious sacrifice. Think of compound interest, but not for money, for choices. Small daily decisions aligned with what truly matters multiply over time. But there's an invisible thief operating constantly. Social media, pointless tasks, empty conversations. They drain your focus and pull your attention away from the essential. The solution? Ruthlessly eliminate anything that doesn't lead you where you want to go. Your time is not a renewable resource. It doesn't rewind, it doesn't pause, it doesn't wait. As Goethe said, things which matter most must never be at the mercy of things which matter least. And that might just be the most important priority of your life. Protect your priorities. Chapter 3: The Dynamics of Relationships. Relationships are not static. They work like emotional bank accounts. Every gesture, every word, every absence is either a deposit or a withdrawal. A sincere compliment? Deposit. Frequent lateness, broken promises, constant silence? Withdrawals. And just like in real-life banking, you can't withdraw from an account you never deposited into. They suddenly pulled away from me. Maybe it's not a mystery. Maybe it's neglect disguised as routine. A lot of people value grand gestures, expensive gifts, dramatic celebrations, but the secret to lasting connection lies in the small, daily actions. A message that says, "I was thinking of you." A genuine, "How are you really doing?" Being there, especially on the hard days. These small acts form the true emotional currency. And here's something no one tells you. Strong bonds are built more through shared pain than through shared pleasure. Facing struggles together creates more unity than just enjoying life together. There's more. Most people underestimate weak ties, acquaintances, co-workers, distant neighbors, but it's often these connections that act as invisible bridges to new opportunities, ideas, and perspectives. Strong ties offer comfort. Weak ties spark growth. Want to feel your time more deeply? Help someone. Listen to someone. Reach out. It may sound like a paradox, but giving your time makes you feel like you have more time. As Nikola Tesla once said, "Life is and will ever remain an unsolvable equation, but it contains some known truths, among them that the only truly inexhaustible energy is human love." And maybe, in the end, cultivating that energy is the best emotional investment you'll ever make. Chapter 4: Career and Purpose. The best opportunities in your career aren't where you are, not even where you think you should be. They live just one step outside your comfort zone, on the edge between what you know and what you're still capable of discovering. That space is called the adjacent possible. That's where true growth happens. I need to stick to my field. I can't take risks right now. That's the most dangerous sentence for anyone who wants to grow. It's also the fastest way to get stuck in a role that has already expired, but still feels comfortable. A classic mistake? Optimizing for money too soon. In your 20s and 30s, your focus shouldn't be the paycheck. It should be learning. Every new skill is like a lottery ticket for future opportunities. You don't know when you'll need it, but when the moment comes, it might change everything. Remember, money follows knowledge always. Forget the outdated idea of the corporate ladder. Modern careers look much more like vertical playgrounds. You climb, you slide, you shift sideways, you step back, then leap forward. And with every move, you build a unique combination of skills, one that no one else has. But here's the danger. Too much comfort is quicksand. The longer you stay in a role you've already outgrown, the harder it becomes to leave it. Mental hack? Use productive procrastination. Avoiding something boring? Channel that energy into learning something new. The side projects you do to escape other tasks often reveal your hidden passions. Career isn't about climbing, it's about expanding. As Albert Einstein once said, "The mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size." And that's the real promotion, becoming someone impossible to ignore. Chapter 5: Health and Vitality. Health isn't just about living longer. It's about living better with the time you have. It's the silent multiplier of everything that matters: mental energy, emotional clarity, decision-making power, true presence. Without health, even your biggest dreams become too heavy to carry. Think about it. Would you rather have 8 hours of full energy or 12 hours dragging your feet? In the end, it's not about how much time you have. It's about how much energy you can bring into it. And here's one of the most destructive beliefs: "I'll sleep when I'm dead." That phrase has killed far more than it's ever saved. Sleep isn't rest, it's cognitive recharge. Without it, your brain functions like it's intoxicated. Your memory fails, your creativity vanishes, your decisions become impulsive, and everything you want, success, relationships, clarity, depends on your brain working at its peak. Here's another invisible truth. You are two people: the morning you who makes big promises and the evening you who has to deliver. Don't let your morning self create impossible plans your evening self always abandons. Want a real shortcut? Micro workouts. 10 push-ups here, a short walk there, 5 minutes of stretching between tasks. Your body wasn't designed to sit for 8 hours. Movement generates clarity. Stuck on a problem? Move your body. Your mind will unlock along with it. As Thomas Edison once said, "The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease." And maybe the secret to a more productive life isn't working harder, but taking better care of yourself. Chapter 6: Learning and Growth. Learning is not a passive act. It's a living process, and it accelerates when you teach. That's the teacher effect. When you explain something to someone else, your brain is forced to understand it more deeply. Even if you feel like you're not ready yet, "But I haven't even mastered the topic." That's exactly why you should teach it. Your current doubts, your stumbles, your confusion, all of that makes you a more human, more helpful teacher than many so-called experts. You still remember what's hard, which means you can explain it more clearly to beginners. One learning hack few people use? Read biographies. Each one condenses decades of real-life experience into a few hours. You learn from the mistakes of geniuses. You avoid traps before falling into them. You save years of time. Another secret? Smart people don't try to be good at everything. They practice strategic ignorance, deliberately bad at things that don't matter. This keeps their mind light, flexible, and creative. Being mediocre at certain things is actually a smart decision. And when life gives you limits, limited time, scarce resources, little experience, don't complain. Use it. Restrictions are the fuel of creativity. And here's a deeply underrated skill: knowing when to quit, quickly, without guilt. Quitting what no longer helps you grow isn't failure. It's making room for what truly matters. As Socrates said, education is not the filling of a bucket, but the lighting of a flame. And that flame begins with one choice: to never stop learning. Chapter 7: Emotional Intelligence. Emotions often feel uncontrollable, but they hold a secret few people know. Chemically, every intense emotion lasts only 90 seconds. Anger, fear, frustration. They move through your body like a wave. After that, you're the one choosing to stay there. But I can't control what I feel. Maybe not the first hit, but what comes next. That's 100% your responsibility. Emotional intelligence isn't about feeling less. It's about responding better. Emotionally regulated people aren't cold. They're dependable in the middle of chaos. That's why they get promoted. That's why they earn respect. That's why they're followed. Most people either pretend they're fine or they explode. The wiser ones? They acknowledge the emotion, name it, and guide it without denying it and without being ruled by it. Here's a costly mistake: avoiding hard conversations. They don't disappear. They stack up like emotional debt. That discomfort you ignored today becomes resentment tomorrow, and eventually an emotional bomb. And gratitude? It's not just spiritual fluff for social media. Unspoken gratitude is like having money locked in a vault with no key. Use it, or it dies. As Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. True emotional freedom begins the moment you take the wheel of your mind. Chapter 8: Financial Wisdom. Money at its core has never been about numbers. It's always been about one thing: freedom. Especially the freedom of time. But here's the paradox. The more people earn, the more trapped they become. Bigger house, more expensive car, more bills, more pressure. I can finally buy everything I want. Yes, but you're also paying for it with something you can't get back: your life. That's the invisible name of the treadmill: lifestyle inflation. You run faster and stay in the same place. A real question: would you rather make $100,000 a year working 80 hours a week, or $70,000 working 30 hours a week and actually have time to live? Your true hourly value includes everything you give up to keep that salary. And most people get it backward. They buy objects and rent experiences, while the wise rent objects and invest in experiences. Why? Because experiences become stories. They leave a mark on your soul. They grow in value over time. Objects almost always just lose their shine. And here's the most underrated financial skill: creating margin. It's not about restriction. It's about creating space. Space to breathe, to choose, to say no, to pause without panic. As Henry David Thoreau said, wealth is the ability to fully experience life. And maybe in the end, that's what being rich really means: having time to feel alive. Chapter 9: Creativity in Practice. Creativity isn't some mystical gift that shows up when it wants to. It works more like a faucet. At first, only rusty water comes out. Bad, obvious, repetitive ideas. But you have to let it flow, because only after the ugly comes the brilliant. Waiting for the perfect idea is like expecting clear water without even turning on the tap. Most people get stuck because they try to create and judge at the same time. But that's like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and the other on the brake. Create first, judge later. Here's an uncomfortable truth: creativity loves constraints. Give someone too many options and they freeze. Give them clear boundaries and they find unexpected solutions. Shakespeare wrote under strict rules of rhyme and meter. Da Vinci created under the pressure of scarcity. Restrictions, paradoxically, amplified their genius. Want to keep your creative flow alive? Document everything, even the stuff that seems bad. Your brain needs to see the rough drafts to trust that it's evolving. And here's the real secret: combinatory thinking. Creativity is rarely about inventing something entirely new. It's about connecting things no one else has connected. Your unique mix of skills, experiences, and perspectives, that's where your creative superpower lives. As Leonardo da Vinci once said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And sometimes all you need to do is start with the simplest draft and keep going.
Chapter 10. Personal energy. You can have free time. You can have clear goals. You can have talent. But if you don't have energy, none of it matters. Managing time without managing energy is like filling a bucket with a hole in it. Most people have never audited their own energy. They don't even realize that some activities recharge them, while others silently drain their soul. A morning walk, energy that multiplies. A toxic friendship, invisible emotional leak. I need more willpower. No, you need less friction. Willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired. Smart people don't rely on it for everything. They design environments that make good choices automatic. Example: decision fatigue. Every choice, what to wear, what to eat, what to postpone, consumes mental energy. That's why great leaders wear the same clothes, eat the same meals. They conserve energy for the decisions that truly matter. Want an unconventional trick? Strategic incompetence. Be deliberately bad at non-essential tasks so people stop giving them to you, and your energy stays focused on what you do best. And never forget, rest is not a waste of time. It's how you multiply the value of the time you still have. As Isaac Newton said, a body at rest tends to stay at rest. A body in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an external force. Apply that law to your life. Move with intention and rest with purpose.
Chapter 11. Social capital. Success isn't just about what you know. More than anything, it's about who walks with you. But here's what most people don't understand. Social capital isn't forced networking. It's not about collecting business cards or LinkedIn connections. It's about real relationships, deep ones, alive and genuine. There's a simple formula for true friendship: time plus vulnerability plus shared experiences. Skip any of the three, and the bond falls apart. But I don't have time for that right now. Then you're missing out on the greatest long-term investment there is. Relationships aren't built when you need them. They're built before, in the small moments, in that unexpected message, in that quick coffee, in the presence that doesn't demand but sustains. The best connectors don't collect contacts. They build bridges. They introduce people who should meet. They create value without expecting instant return. And that's why when they need support, their network shows up strong. Most people wait for a big event, a reunion, a crisis. But the strongest bonds are built in the everyday. Think of your community as a garden. You don't plant it all at once. You water it daily. Every conversation is water. Every introduction is fertilizer. As Confucius said, wherever you go, go with all your heart, and take the hearts of others with you. Because in the end, no achievement is worth it if you don't have someone to share it with. Chapter 12. Mental models. Your mind is constantly creating maps to understand the world. These mental shortcuts are called mental models. They're powerful tools, but they come with a trap. The map is never the territory. In other words, your view of reality is always simpler, more limited, more incomplete
than the real world. And that's both an advantage and a risk. Most people react to what's right in front of them. They play checkers while life demands chess. They think in the now while the consequences dance in the after. Want a real edge? Use second-order thinking. If I do this, what happens next? And what happens after that? Always ask yourself, who does this decision feel obvious to? Maybe your mental map is missing a critical road. Or worse, maybe it's leading you in the wrong direction. That's why multiple perspectives aren't a luxury, they're a survival tool. And remember, knowledge is not power. Understanding is. Knowing that a tomato is a fruit, that's knowledge. Knowing not to put it in a fruit salad, that's applied wisdom. Average people collect facts. Strategic people collect patterns. Another powerful model? Inversion thinking. Instead of asking, how do I solve this? Ask, how am I contributing to this problem? Sometimes the answer isn't in doing something new. It's in stopping what you've been doing without even noticing. As René Descartes said, to improve the mind, we should learn not to pile up facts, but to organize our thoughts well. Real power doesn't come from knowing everything, but from knowing how to think about anything.
Chapter 13. Life Design. Your life is not something that happens to you. It's something you actively design every single day. Think of it as a dynamic portfolio, but instead of stocks and investments, it's made of experiences, relationships, skills, dreams tested in real life. The most common mistake? Overvaluing planning, undervaluing real-world testing. Life design isn't about creating perfect plans. It's about running small, frequent experiments to discover what actually works for you. But I need to have it all figured out before I start. No, you don't think your way to the right path. You walk your way to it by experimenting, adjusting, starting again. Want to transform your life? Don't start with revolutions. Start with 5-minute changes. Small wins create real momentum for bigger shifts. And here's the most powerful shift of all. Change what you use to measure your life. Most people use society's metrics: money, status, possessions. But what if you defined your own? What if success meant time with the people you love, learning something new every week, serving someone with what only you can do? Reviewing your life every month isn't optional. It's how you catch problems before they become year-long regrets.
Conclusion. Life isn't about finding more hours. It's about making the hours you already have count. Everything you've seen, from time perception to relationship building, from energy management to designing your own existence, it all works as an interconnected system. Each choice affects every other. Each habit builds or breaks the quality of your journey. Time will pass, with or without you. The difference is what you do while it passes. Your habits become your days become your years become the story you leave behind. Start small. Choose one idea that resonated with you. Test it, refine it, make it yours, and live by it today. As Steve Jobs once said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. The best moment to start truly living was never someday, it was now. If this content made sense to you, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Help me keep creating more content like this. See you in the next video.